Hi everybody, I'm Erin, and I think the name of this channel is going to be She Loses. It's going to be a weight loss journey channel, and I guess it's fitting that it's January 2nd. Probably January 3rd that I'm going to actually post the video, so I guess it's fitting that it's the new year, new you, all that nonsense, but it actually just kind of worked out that way. That wasn't the plan. Not that, having a New Year's resolution is bad or anything like that, especially when it comes to weight loss or transformations. It's really a good thing, but that wasn't my plan. So this channel is going to be about my weight loss journey, specifically my weight loss surgery journey, and this video is just going to be about an introduction to that. So again, my name is Erin. This is going to be a couple of facts about me, so you guys can follow me on this journey and know a little bit about the backstory. So I'm 36. I currently weigh, today I actually just weighed myself, I weighed 312 pounds. My highest weight was, I want to say 325 or something like that. But I've recently lost a little bit of weight in preparation to weight loss surgery. And how I did that, I guess, I have been implementing some changes, which I'll talk about in upcoming videos. But I think the biggest change in my life has been my job is, I don't have a sedentary job anymore. I walk around a lot, I stand more. So I think that has a lot more to do with the recent weight loss that I've experienced. So I guess let me talk about the procedure that I'm going to get, but let me backtrack a little bit. So I have been overweight since I was about 17, 18. If I really think about it, probably, I've always been a little higher than I was supposed to be at the age and the height, because I'm 5'7". And, but I'm also Black. So in the Black community, being a little bit more curvaceous, a little thicker is never considered like a bad thing. Culturally speaking, maybe health-wise, it's not considered. I don't want to say health-wise because that's another story that maybe I'll talk about another day. But it's definitely a slippery slope. But in the Black community, it's not considered that bad to be curvaceous, as we see with, the influx of, fake butts and, things like that. It's not a bad thing in the Black community to be curvaceous in the right areas. And when I was about 15, 16, 17, I was curvaceous in the right areas, and then, it became a slippery slope. I wasn't watching what I was eating and thinking that I was going to stay this way forever. And boom, I gained weight. I do have PCOS, so that definitely contributed to my weight gain and my rapid weight gain. It was very sudden, and it really didn't have much to do with what I was eating necessarily. I do eat pretty well, but again, I'll talk about those specifics in other videos. But so I started gaining weight about 17, and because I never really knew what to do at that point as far as losing weight, and I tried a couple of things, but things didn't work, and I wasn't as big as I was now, so I didn't really think anything of it. I mean, if I had everything to do over again, I would have definitely lost weight or tried to lose weight or been more vigorous about it when I was 17. But anyway, as the years went on, I got complacent, lazy, all of those things. And I tried, Jenny Craig, Weight Watchers, and all types of stuff that, will work for a little bit, but it didn't stick. So it wasn't until 2008 when I moved from New York to Florida. I actually wanted to have a baby. I've been with my husband now. We've been married for 12 years, but we've been together all together this coming August for 20 years. So, we kind of wanted to have a baby. We had been, in 2008, we had been married for 3 years. We had been together for 10 years at that point. And we kind of wanted to, try to have a baby. We weren't having, any luck naturally. So we were going to try to have a baby. So when I moved here to Florida, the first thing I did was go to a fertility doctor. Now, I had been thinking about doing weight loss surgery prior to that, but I come from, you know, a very, I don't want to say strict family, but, and I don't want to say not open-minded. They're very open-minded, but they have very strong ideas about certain things. And if you go against that, you know, it could be a little, I don't know, they just don't agree with it. So I have my family is very much, you know, oh, if you eat right, you exercise, and that's all you need to do. That's how you lose weight. But it's more about a mind over matter kind of thing than it is a medical issue. So it was getting over that, and, you know, so I didn't really think about it like that. I never really went into trying to get or go to a doctor to find out anything. So it wasn't until I went to the fertility specialist, and I literally sat in her office. She came in and she said, well, what can I do for you? So I told her, you know, we're trying to have a baby. She said, you know, I can help you. She's like, but you need to lose weight. She's like, that's the first thing. She's like, you know, because you're going to be high risk. You have all of these issues that could come up with just being overweight and being pregnant. She's like, but I can help you. But, you know, the chances of you getting pregnant are very slim unless you lose weight. So, you know, this has not been my first time at this point in my life that I've sat on a doctor's table and they told me you need to lose weight. So it wasn't something I wasn't expecting. But what I wasn't expecting was what she said first. Well, what she said next. And what she said was, you know, people of your size don't normally lose weight naturally. You know, she's like, I think you need to seek out bariatric surgery. So at that point, that blew my mind because, you know, anytime I'd have been to a doctor prior to this, I was, you know, diet and exercise. And not to say that bariatric surgery is not about diet and exercise, but no doctor had ever suggested surgery to me before. So that kind of gave me it allowed me to look into it, you know. It gave me the ammunition to say, okay, this doctor said so. So I did look into it, but coming from the family background that I came from, I still kind of hesitated. I didn't want to do the full, you know, bariatric surgery. I didn't want to get fully cut and all that stuff. So I went for lap band. At the time, again, this was 2008. At the time, lap band hadn't been really, I'm not going to say it hadn't been, but they didn't have enough research on the other end of it. It had been being done, and it was less invasive. The mortality rate was higher, or I guess lower. Mortality rate was lower. Complications were lower, all of that stuff. So it was kind of an easy sell to my family. Like, you know, hey, when we get lap band, you know, it could be fully reversed, blah, blah, blah. So they kind of accepted it. It's not what I really wanted to do, to be perfectly honest. I didn't really want to do that. And I remember going to the, you know, support groups and people talking about gastric, and that's what I kind of wanted to do, but I didn't want my family to think that I was lazy, or I don't really know what I thought at the time. I know that I wasn't really making the decision based on what I wanted to do. I was kind of really making this decision based on what I thought they would accept. So in 2009, December 2009, I got lap band surgery, and I lost about 45 pounds, and that was it. And lap band surgery, I'm not going to say it doesn't work, but the upkeep, the adjustments are not fun. I'll say that. Not that I thought they would be fun, but I didn't think they would be as, I don't want to say traumatic, because, you know, I mean, I feel like I have a high tolerance for pain, but my last fill that was not done in fluoro, which was a manual fill, it took him 45 minutes and approximately 12 sticks to find the port, and he never found it. So that, you know, to do that every 6 weeks or 12 weeks, it was just like, I'm not doing this. So I kind of stopped getting filled because of that. Now, even today, this was 2009 that I got my lap band. I still have a lap band, and I don't think I've gotten it filled since 2011, maybe, and I think I'm being generous, maybe 2010. And I still have restriction. But I haven't been really following what I was supposed to be doing, and I'm just gonna be, and this is just for full disclosure, you know, I haven't been following what I need to follow, but it really just wasn't working for me. But because of the fact that I felt like I wasn't really trying and I really hadn't changed a lot of my lifestyle, I thought, this is all on you. You were lazy, you didn't do what you needed to do, this is what you get. So I ended up moving to California in end of 2013. And my insurance there was very good. And I had bariatric surgery coverage. It wasn't until 2015 or early 2016 that I had decided maybe I'll look into possibly a revision. So I went to the doctor in California, and the doctor basically kind of shut it down. He was like, well, we'll see if we could work with your lap band, And because of the shame that I had already had going into it, that I thought, well, I didn't do what I needed to do, and, it's on me. I should have done more. I decided to walk away from that and say, you know what, he was right. We'll just work with the lap band. And it wasn't until I got home and I felt like, you know what, this is my insurance. This is my body. This is my life. I want to see about a revision. So I had sent an email saying that, I would absolutely work with him with the lap band, with possibly doing a fill. But if it didn't work out, then I wanted to look into a revision. He was receptive to that. Then I ended up moving back to Orlando. So that didn't go through there. But when I moved back to Orlando, I had it in my head at that point that that's what I was going to do. I was going to do a revision. So when I got back to Orlando, I went to the doctor that did my lap band to get a revision. When I went there, again, I still was faced with the same shame, because now not only did I not lose any weight, I was bigger than I was the day I went in for surgery. So I was ashamed. I was, I felt like a failure. I felt like, all of those things. But when I sat down, the nurse practitioner, the doctor's assistant, I told her about, what I had, and she said, it's not your fault. She said, they don't even do them anymore. She said, the year before, this was 2016. She said, so the year before 2015, she's like, we only did 2. She's like, we really don't even do them anymore. And you're not the first one. This is everyone's story who's had lap band. It just doesn't work because you haven't changed anything in your body physiologically. You haven't changed anything, and it just doesn't work. Even the doctor in California said, when I told him I lost about 45 pounds, he was like, yeah, that's about as much as you're ever going to lose. So it made me feel a little bit better. They were definitely receptive and open to a revision. And I went to get it approved through my insurance, and my insurance said I couldn't get it done there. So I could get it done, but I had to go to a different place. So I sought out the new place that they told me to, and I spoke with my new doctor, and my new doctor had recommended that I do the dual dental switch, which I'd heard about like prior to all of this, but it's not something that everybody does. I usually hear about the sleeve or gastric bypass, and I know 2 people that had the sleeve and they had great results. So that's what I was looking for. But what he was saying was, because of my results with the lap bands, that it's just best that, the dual dental has more potential for complications, because it is the most invasive of all of the weight loss surgeries, because it does the most to your body. So the dual dental is restriction with malabsorption. So I was under the impression prior to this that the gastric was also restriction malabsorption. It does have some malabsorption, but the dual dental has a full malabsorption. So it's the one that, could really, if you don't take your vitamins and things like that, you could really, really run into some problems. But because of my, my reluctance and my hesitation with the lap bands and doing it because I thought everybody else wanted me to do this instead of doing what I thought I wanted to do, I decided to do that. So with this one, I said, I want the best results. So that is the procedure I am getting on January 30th, the dual dental switch. So what are my expectations from the surgery? I think that, back in 2008, I was doing it for very different reasons. I know we all say, I'm not doing this because I want to look good. I'm just doing this because I want to be healthy. And while that was some of the reason in 2008, that definitely wasn't the full reason. I definitely wanted to do it because I wanted to look different. I think that was my biggest motivation. I wanted to look different. And the reason why I don't think that it worked is because I didn't really put into perspective the sacrifices that I would have to make and the things that I would need to do in order to get there. So that's why I don't think that it worked as well as it could have. I don't think that I would have lost all of the weight, but I definitely could have lost more had I been more serious about it. So this time around, I'm older. I'm 36. I don't have kids. That's definitely somewhat of a motivation. I'm not going to say it's a full motivation because I feel like at this point I am, getting older. I don't even know if kids are even a possibility or going to be in my future at this point. And I'm fine with that. I've known for a very long time. I've known since I was 15 I had PCOS and that having kids might be difficult, if not impossible for me. So it's just something that I've always known and, I've dealt with mentally. Emotionally, I've dealt with that. I would like to try and then, hey, if it doesn't work out, at least I tried. But I think for me, it's just different. I'm not emotionally broken about it. But definitely that's part of it. The other part of it is definitely the fact that I don't want to be 36 and have a heart attack. I think that that's the biggest issue for me. Like, I would go to sleep some nights and I feel like, oh my God, I don't feel right, or, and I don't have diabetes. I don't have high blood pressure. I don't have hypertension. I don't have any of those things, which is one of the things that I do want to talk about when people say, oh, being fat is unhealthy. Being fat definitely leads to unhealthy things. Absolutely. It's a slippery slope. It's like smoking. Just because you smoke doesn't mean you have lung cancer, but it's definitely, you're on the highway to it. You're definitely on the exit ramp to lung cancer, but it doesn't mean you have it. So being overweight doesn't equate to you are unhealthy. It means, yeah, you're on the highway to it. You're on the exit ramp to unhealthy. You're putting yourself at risk for high blood pressure, hypertension, high cholesterol, diabetes, cancer, all types of stuff when you're overweight. But it is not necessarily, fat equals unhealthy, because again, if you look at my blood work and anything that measures healthiness, I'm healthy. But again, am I going to stay like that? And, being 36 and overweight, yeah, I'm much more likely to have a heart attack, get diabetes, die prematurely because of my weight. So as I'm getting older, as everybody, once you hit a certain age, you start to, question your mortality and, how long do you have left? I don't want to die young. I don't want to be, the person that has a heart attack at 36 and everybody at my job is like, well, she was big, I don't want, that's not what I want. So for me now, it's really about wanting to really live my life. And I will say I've, maybe because I am over 35, I'm over 30, that, the trappings of, do I look good? And I don't want to do this because I'm too fat. I don't let my weight limit me and the choices that I make anymore. I used to, especially in my early 20s, it definitely limited me. I definitely didn't do a lot of the things that a lot of young 20-year-olds did at the time or should be doing because I was overweight. But definitely now that doesn't really dictate what I wear. It doesn't dictate what I do. It limits me physically. I was just having a conversation with my mom and my friends about, the fact that, I just came from, a trip to Dubai, which, again, normally if I was in my 20s, I wouldn't even gone because I wouldn't want to be overweight, or, some nonsense that I wouldn't allow myself to do because I was overweight. But as I've gotten older, like I said, I'm not going to continue, to put my life on hold until I reach this magical number. So my weight does physically limit me though. So there are certain things I can't do no matter even if I put myself in that position. So, certain things like when I did the desert safari, like, and when you're in another country, they don't tell you, they're not really, it's not that I don't necessarily think it's not that they care, but they don't have the words in English to tell you in a nice way, hey, you're too big. So basically that's what they tell you. You're too big, you can't do this. So certain things, it definitely limited me physically. And because I was in a situation where I wasn't with people that were thinking about my feelings and how I was going to take it, they basically came right out and said it, which I respect. You know, I do respect that, but it doesn't make the blow any less harsh. So these are my expectations for the surgery, to just get healthier and to further expand my life, to be able to go to Dubai or to go to Aruba or any of these places and really fully experience the trip. If I want to go, you know, hang gliding or zip lining, you know, not having to worry about, okay, what's the weight restriction? You know, I want to go horseback riding. I don't want to be on a poor horse's back, you know, and feel like I'm going to break his, you know, back. You know, I don't want to do that, you know, so I want to be able to fully experience my life and fully experience the things that I want to do in my life. So it has somewhat to do with looking good and all that, but it really has more to do with feeling good and being able to fully experience my life. I've been overweight enough or long enough to know that aesthetically, I'm never going to look like a J-Lo or a Beyonce or anything like that. Aesthetically, I'm probably always going to have a body that doesn't look quite right. But, you know, I've been overweight for so long. My body is never, you know, since I was, you know, like I said, 17, 18, my body has not looked quite right. So it has never fit the ideal of what was attractive. So that doesn't, you know, bother me, the whole, oh, you're going to have loose skin, you're going to have this, you're going to have that. Well, you know, 6 to 1/2 doesn't have the other, you know. Either you're overweight and people look at you and say, well, you're too big, or you know, look good in clothes. And maybe when you know, get intimate with someone, they're like, oh, you know, everything's not quite right in the right place. So either way, it is what it is. So those are my expectations for surgery, just to, again, be in a better place physically, so I can really fully experience my life. You know, I want to live my life. I don't want to just be surviving here. And then what can you guys expect from this channel? So I kind of want to do weekly updates, and I kind of want to talk about different topics, not just, hey, this is my weight, hey, this is what I'm eating, hey, you know. But I want to talk about, you know, I think my next video is definitely going to be about vitamins and things that I've done so far to prepare for surgery. So surgery is coming up, and I do think that, you know, I wasn't the only one that had my first surgery and just was like, okay, you know, I did a couple of preparations for what they told me 2 weeks prior to, but there was no real preparation on my end that I did. And I think this time is definitely different, but I do think that, again, I'm in a different mindset. So everything, you know, is definitely different. So I definitely want to talk about that. And definitely, you know, just things that happen in my life, you know, changes. I know that people are going to say things or act differently towards me, and I just kind of want to chronicle that to see if that's real. I definitely think it will be real. I know that recently somebody at my job lost some weight, and I don't know, you know, I didn't ask her how she lost the weight. You know, I just, you know, told her she looked good. She definitely looked younger, but, you know, even my response to someone losing weight is different. So I'm anxious to see what other people are going to say. I think I'll close this out and just, you know, say that whatever you decide to do as far as changing your life, whether it's, you know, changing your life, you know, physically, or changing your life spiritually, or whatever you decide to do, you know, definitely go into it with your eyes open, and definitely know that your change will make others uncomfortable. Because not because they're not happy for you, or not because they want to see you fail, but because you changing will make them realize where they are in their lives. So for anybody that's going to come on the channel and say something negative, I understand that, you know, you're not in a place or a happy place that you can be happy for someone else. And I wish or hope that what you get from this channel, whether you're watching it out of disdain for fat people, or you're watching it because you're actually looking for, you know, inspiration, is that that's what you get. That you get somebody that, you know, can inspire you, and that, you know, you can see that it can be done. That, you know, you're not too old, you're not too big, you're not too whatever, you know, to start your journey wherever that may be. You know, the hardest part of any journey is the first step. So this is my first step. I hope that you guys will join me, or at least, you know, watch me and see how far I get. And I hope that I, you know, not only make myself proud, but I hope I live up to these expectations that I'm putting out there, and that, you know, maybe this first video that you're expecting of me, I hope I live up to those. And I will see you in the next video.